right, here we are. Oh, welcome everybody to the Rever reaction for Wrestlemania Sunday. It's just an insane show. I don't know. I don't know what else to call it. It's absolutely definitely insane. It really is. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna do some of these reactions, not just on these, but do some of these other things to it. Oh, this is just unreal. It really was. Just unfreaking real. So let's start off with the fact that Triple H came out, and he did his entrance for the very last time at WrestleMania. Walked down the ramp with the water bottle, took a swig of the water, got him on the ropes, and and let everybody and did that, and got in the ring, posed on some of the posed on the ropes. And then he got a pair of his boots, hit a microphone, thanked the fans so much for all they've done for him. Left his boots in the ring and welcomed everybody to WrestleMania, a bunch of pyro. He then went out, hugged his 3 girls, and went off, riding off in the sunset. Because he unfortunately could not wrestle anymore due to his cardiac event that he had back in the summertime. So it was nice to see, because you want, as a fan, to give that wrestler his goodbye, and he didn't get to have a goodbye match, but he got to have his goodbye. He got the crowd to be able to give him things. They were chanting "Thank you, Hunter." So it's sad that he's not going to wrestle anymore, but he's got more important things to do, and he's still got some very interesting things to do, because he's got, he was that yesterday at Stand and Deliver. He came out and he hugged Tommaso Ciampa, as that was his last yesterday's match. Stand and Deliver was his last match at NXT. Obviously, he's still an executive in WWE, although there have been reports that he will not take over from Vince when Vince decides not to do it anymore. But yeah, it's a wild ride with Triple H, from the Connecticut Blue Blood to the Cerebral Assassin, the Game, to the King of Kings, so much more. It's been a wild ride for Triple H, and it's great that we can see him. We'll not see him, but we can thank him one more time. So I think that was great. And then the show started off with the Raw Triple Threat Tag Title match. And a couple weeks ago, we had one where it was involving Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Because they were doing the thing of what were we going to do for WrestleMania. So there was that, and that one was incredible. And this one was just as good as two. I mean, it's just everybody in there just know what to do. They know how to do this, and they know how to do it in a triple threat kind of way, where it's probably going to be so hard to do and come up with the spots, but they did it. It's just incredible. And we had, we thought maybe we would frog splash from what's his face Montez Ford into the RKO, but it was actually um, Riddle doing the springboard, jumping to the springboard to the top rope, and then giving him the RKO off the top. Chad Gable went for a splash onto Riddle, but Randy Orton caught him with the RKO. 1, 2, 3. Great match. Loved it. I'm gonna say 4 stars. I wrote down 4.25, but I'm gonna say it's 4 stars. It was really good match. Loved it. Afterwards, the Street Profits, who have been doing some heelish things the last couple of weeks, down in the ring, and everything, and it was a heel turn. But no, it was a setup. Gable Stevenson, the Olympic gold medalist and the 2-time champion, who has been signed to WWE. It was for him to show what he could do, and they got him in the ring, and he was gonna toast with them, but Chad Gable knocked it out of Gable Stevenson's hands, and he got on the mic and talked about him, and Gable Stevenson showed Chad Gable that's going to be showed him what they could do, and he gave him a couple of overhead belly suplexes. So again, he got out the ring, he celebrated with RK Bro and the Street Profits. So first off, it didn't look like the Street Profits are turning heel, and Gable Stevenson looked like he's going to be on Raw pretty soon. So again, wonderful match. Love the action afterwards. Incredible. Next match was Omos versus Lashley. And to be honest with you, I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised at what they did here, because I was certain that they were not going to, have Bobby Lashley be the person to beat, Omos. This is in a way, Omos is almost like Roman Reigns, right? The person who beats Roman Reigns has to be is going to be a made man. So you would think they'll be saying, well, the person that beats Omos is going to be a made man, but Lashley's already a made man. But he get here and he beat him. Now they did some power spots for, Omos picked up Bobby Lashley in a bear hug, if you can believe that. But Bobby Lashley turned it around. He suplexed him, and he gave him a spear, a couple spears, and beat him 1, 2, 3 middle ring. I'm very shocked. He did win. So it was 1 3/4 star. I'm trying to give Omos all the time in the world for him to be there, but I don't think he's getting a lot of work. At one point, a couple years ago, he was showing they way before the pandemic, maybe like in 2018, 2019 even. They had shown him where he was doing the NXT show, and Malcolm Bivens was like his manager. And so, but I don't think he ever went to NXT. I think once again, Vince immediately saw him and said, "We're gonna make him, do what they did with Braun Strowman." Because Braun Strowman, I don't think really worked in NXT a lot. Like he immediately went from getting signed to being on TV with the Wyatt family and everything like that. Then of course he was broken off from the Wyatt family, and he naturally got better. Got better over time. I don't know how Omos is progressing like that. He looks good, but he's not really doing anything. So he's going to need and maybe this might be a stutter, but he needs to feud with somebody and win that feud, and and do some other things. So we'll see what they do with Omos. Sean Rapp of Feather Select has reported that Omos is still going to get pushed after WrestleMania, so I don't think they're giving up on him either, but we'll see how it goes. The next was the Anything Goes match between Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. And what a shit show this was. And my God. They went out and did a bunch of slapstick comedy. Basically Three Stooges are going to love this. Johnny Knoxville did the bowling ball spot in the where Timmy in the corner with his legs spread. He had a mouse trap. He put glued mouse traps on tables, on a table, and Sami Zayn, like an idiot, set it up. Of course, we knew he was going to go through it later on in the night. And then they also had this big fucking rat trap that they created. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And they did these ridiculous things where Sami Zayn was chasing Wee Man, I think, and all of a sudden this big fucking hand just comes and slaps Sami Zayn down. I don't know. I laughed so fucking hard at it. It was just incredible. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. And that big giant rat trap was the finish because Johnny Knoxville tased Sami Zayn, and then he tried to do it with a thing with flip on him. He couldn't do it. He had to do it manually and hit him. The finish was fucked up very much, but he covered Sami Zayn and he won, and it was unreal, absolutely unreal what was happening. So for the fun nature of it, because it was fun, even though it was absolutely stupid. I mean, Wee Man, all 2'9" of him, was up there, punching Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn acting like it hurt, and then he picked up and body slammed Sami Zayn. Okay, I gave it 3, and I gave it 3.25 stars. It was fun, it was stupid. It's Jim Cornette's not gonna like it. A lot of people are not gonna like it, but it was fun. Next was the 4-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Champions Zelina Vega and Carmella took on Natalya and Shayna Baszler, Naomi and Sasha Banks, and Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. The crowd was really into the Anything Goes match, and there wasn't too much involved in this. But they were able to turn that crowd a little bit with some of the work that they were doing. They popped for a double Tower of Doom spot when everybody was on the ground rolling around. This was not like the triple threat match where one member of each team were in the ring. It was just 2 women they could tag anybody. So it's a lot as easy as it probably seems with the triple threat. I think it's a lot harder than it seems with the Fatal 4-way to do that. So, although I think it needs to be probably elimination. It shouldn't just be Fatal 4-way. It should be Fatal 4-way elimination. That way, you could eliminate the teams and then get it down to, you could do like the first 8 minutes of the match, getting, 2 of the teams to be gone, and then maybe like the last 5 or 6 minutes, or even 6 to 10 minutes, you can just have those 2 teams, go at it. So I think that might be the best way to do it, Fatal 4-way. It's what it was. Other than Tower of Doom spot and the finish, there's not a lot of memorable moments in there. Corey Graves is going all crazy over his bride, soon to be Carmella. Um, so and that was interesting. But yes, Naomi and Tessa Banks, they did this very innovative finish. Almost looked like it was like a code breaker type of move. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, they won the victory. They're the new women's tag team champions, and yeah, so it's good on them, and we'll see what they can do now. We'll see what other teams will make. We should have a few girls coming back, Oscar Bailey and Lacey Evans, and we should have a couple girls maybe being called up as well from NXT. Um, you know, well, maybe not actually, because the girl. Well, yes, you can, because Io Shirai could maybe be called up. Um, Maybe some of the something. I don't know if Kaylee Ray could be called up, but yeah, we'll see. We could have some more teams coming up, being called up, and everything like that, adding to this division. So yeah, I gave it the 3 stars. I thought it was nice, very nice match. Next was Age versus AJ. Some people thought this could steal the show. However, it didn't click like we thought they would click. I mean, nothing was bad. It's methodical, as which methodical is okay. Um, but yeah, it didn't seem like it didn't get out of first gear, and it went like when it came to the finish, it went from first gear all the way to fourth gear or whatever. And finish was AJ Styles was going for the phenomenal forearm, and he takes a look, to the side, and then he takes almost like a double take. And you see that it's Damian Priest, and Damian Priest is now standing outside of the ring, and he goes for the phenomenal forearm. Edge hits a spare in midair, beat him 1, 2, 3. Edge wins. He beats AJ Styles, and then Damian Priest gets in the ring, and they just, come together and be together. And there were rumors that Edge was going to get a new person. We can get a faction, and Damian Priest might be one of them. So, and it looks like that it's come true. So here we are. I gave it 3.25 stars. I thought it was, again, it's disappointing because you thought maybe it would maybe get into that 4.25, 4.5 star range, and maybe they're saving that for later on down the line, which is totally okay. But yeah, it was all right, a little disappointing, but it was okay. Next was the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Now this was a match that was supposed to be on yesterday's show, but was cut for time. And some people have been saying, well, with the way this match went, why the fuck did you cut it? It really didn't. It wasn't nothing. It was like 4 or 5 minutes, and New Day, Kobe Kingston, and Xavier Woods out there in their Biggie inspired attire, lost to Sheamus and Ridge Holland, and so who knows, man? Who knows? You could have put that on the pre-show and gave it 10, 15 minutes and you get started. You finish I don't care, because I think they realize the New Day can take losses and they're never going to lose in fans' eyes. But Ridge Holland in particular, in which they need to continue to get victories. They give them that they are threats to the to the vision of SmackDown and everything like that. So I'm okay with that. I know some people aren't. Some people feel that it's how can you not give the New Day their revenge for for Big E, but whatever. So I gave it 1 star. It was it was like only 4 or 5 minutes. Next was Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. And boy, Pat McAfee's over with this crowd. And he was incredible. He once again did the running and jumping to the top rope into the superplex. Love that. Vince McMahon came down first, by the way, and then he called out Austin Theory, and he was sitting out down the ringside. And they had a pretty entertaining match, and I think Pat McAfee was good at selling. Again, they trained these celebrities better than they trained the wrestlers. You see, because once again, Bad Bunny last year, Logan Paul yesterday. Johnny Knoxville was just doing his stupid jackass stunt show, but he was okay. He did a tornado DDT and everything, and here you go Pat McAfee, who he was trained by Rick Rogers, who trained the Fantastic Four in OVW and Cena, Batista, Orton, and Lesnar. And of course Shawn Goodman was down there as well. And so it's so he trained Pat McAfee once he retired from the NFL, and so Pat's done a whole bunch of stuff, man. And it was incredible. He really was. And Austin Theory went to A-Town down, and Pat rolled him up 1, 2, 3, got the victory. So Pat McAfee won his match with Austin Theory. It was 3 stars. So Pat McAfee was celebrating, and Vince McMahon had got up and started to berate Austin Theory, and they started to go, but then maybe Pat said something, and Vince McMahon looked at him like and Pat was doing this. And Vince, he teased taking off his jacket and said no. Then he started walking a little bit, and then he looked back and he said, "Oh, fuck!" He took off his jacket. He started. He took off his tie. He took off undoing his shirt. He took off his shirt and got in the ring. The referee got in the ring, and everybody was like, "Wait, what's going on? What's going on here? Are they gonna do a match? They're gonna do Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee just like it was announced?" And the referee rung the bell. Austin Theory went hit Pat McAfee from behind, and Vince McMahon did some he did some clotheslines, calling that really Pat McAfee did all the work. Pat McAfee ran into Vince McMahon's arm and fell. That's how it was. And Vince McMahon kept throwing him into the ropes, and Vince McMahon finished Pat McAfee by taking a football and kicking it into Pat McAfee's stomach and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So in Pat's first WrestleMania match, he won, but in his second WrestleMania match, he lost to Vince McMahon. I give it 1 star, but it's one of those things with another rating, 1 star, but it's like 3 stars because Vince McMahon is 78 years old and wrestling again. Holy shit. Right? And they're starting to do that, and so he tells him to stop playing his music and play Austin Theory music, and Austin Theory is going around. He goes to every corner and changes it, and when he comes back into the ring, Austin Theory's music starts to play again, and Vince does he did a thing, but apparently they played the wrong music. They should have played Steve Austin's music, not Austin Theory. But when Mr. McMahon raises Austin Theory's hand, then the glass breaks, and here comes Austin. He comes out there and he beats up Austin Theory, and then he gives McMahon a beer, and they drink a beer, and then he kicks him in the stomach, looking for the stunner, the kick wham stunner. But Austin's kick pushes McMahon back all the way to the rope where he get it, and then Austin tried to bring him in for a stunner, and it's just the worst ass stunner in the history of mankind. And Austin, he totally just breaks kayfabe. He can't stop laughing at it, and he's laughing his ass off because Vince McMahon just gave him the worst fucking stunner in the history of the world. And he's drinking beers, and Pat McAfee calls Pat in, and he's drinking. He gives Pat some beers, and they drink, and he goes to celebrate on top rope and gives him some more beers, and then gives Pat a stunner, And Sterling goes out. And so while Austin is in the ring, digging Pat's on the floor with a beer. Oh, God, some of the best fun in a long time. And it just hell no. It's just fun. Oh, and then finally your main event, the title unification match, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And this is the normal match that you have seen from Lesnar, Reigns, Goldberg. Anytime these guys get into that, into that type of thing, it's usually just the big moves. Brock Lesnar's doing suplexes and giving F5s. Roman Reigns are doing Superman punches and spears. It's that spamming the finisher button on WWE 2K22. And for the most part, these matches, I loved the match from WrestleMania 33 between Lesnar and Goldberg. I thought that one was epic. I said, it's an 8-minute match, and if you can give 5 stars for 8-minute match, that would be close to it. The way they just went hell bent on earth, trying to do something. It's um, so I really like that match. But some of the matches afterwards have not been necessarily that great, in my opinion. But this one was different because this one was cool. This one was, and I think because you got that dichotomy from WrestleMania 34 where you have the heel Roman and the babyface Brock, and it's just all good, and everything a part of it is just fantastic. Um, and they're selling fantastic, and at the beginning of the thing, Brock Lesnar is taking off the gloves. Roman Reigns has his look on his face, you know, like that because that's Brock Lesnar did that before. He took his elbows and busted him open, at WrestleMania 34, and Reigns has that look on his face as if like, I remember those elbows. I don't want to take those again. But it was, yeah, it was fine. The suplexes, excuse me. Roman goes out the ring, and Paul is there, and he's saying stuff. He's distracting Lesnar, so Roman Reigns can send Lesnar through the barricade, and then again, Superman punches and spears and F5s and all those things later. Brock Lesnar goes down 1-2-3 to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns becomes the undisputed Universal Champion of the world. And the great thing here is at one point, Roman Reigns is in the Kimura lock, and it's his left arm, and he gets to the rope, and he's telling Paul that it's his shoulder, it's undone, and Paul is like, "My tribal chief, you gotta win, you gotta fight through the pain." And Brock Lesnar picks him up, goes for F5, but Roman Reigns can slip off, run into the rope, run off, hit him with another spear, 1-2-3, and get the victory. And when he raises both championships, he's raising his right hand regularly, but he's taking his slow time with his left arm because it's in pain. But he gets it up there and he holds both titles over Brock Lesnar, and he's the new Universal Champion of the world. So, yeah, I thought this was really fun. This was really entertaining. 3.5 stars for me. Really enjoyed this, and really enjoyed this show. This was awesome. Last night was awesome. I think this was a really good job. I thought last year's show was really good. But this one was even better. It really was. Yesterday's was really, like the wrestling show with, and in yesterday's reaction, I said, the last 4 matches, You see the last 5 because the Miz and Logan Paul versus Mysterio, that was really good. But in the last 5 matches of that show, really just made that show fun and great to watch. And this show was just the frenetic pace of the epicness of the stupidity of Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville and the um the spectacle that was Pat Magnuson versus Austin Theory, and then Pat Magnuson versus Vince McMahon, and then Austin Stone Cold Steve Austin out there kicking ass on Austin Theory and man, man with the worst stunner ever, and Pat McAfee out there as well. The Raw tag title match to kick off the show was fantastic. It was just lovely, and then of course this title unification match is great as well. It's now they've only done 3, but it's so far the best 2-night WrestleMania that they've done, and they're gonna do one next year in Southern California. So that's gonna be extra. But yeah, man, this was great. I can't take it out of me. I think this is good. They put this show on and it showed out. Got to give them to it. Give them credit. So yeah, man. Well, this is a really, really good show. Like I just want to keep saying that. Lovely time. It's thoroughly entertaining. All right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about WrestleMania Sunday. How did you feel? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you not like it? I posted something on. I was looking on through the WrestleMania hashtag on Twitter, and the first 2 were like, it was one lady saying this night was incredible, such a good stuff, and then we get another one saying this was horrible up until the Stone Cold Steve Austin came out. So I mean, really, and I screenshotted it and I put it on and I put it back on Twitter with the caption, "This is the IWC at its finest." One person who loved the show, the other person who thought the show watched the same show and thought it sucked. So that's just how it is. But I think it's great. I think most people would think it's great, and I think you don't think it's fine. You either are you are lying to yourself, or you are really truly just not. You're really not like a WWE fan. I don't know if you're not a WWE fan. I wouldn't know why you were watching this. You were watching this just so that you could rip on WWE on Twitter and on message boards and in YouTube comments, something like that. So to me, that made no sense. But yeah, fucking fun stuff. All right, y'all. That's gonna be it for me tonight. Whew. So I was thinking about maybe doing a video for like the Monday night after Raw. Give you my thoughts on it and give you like what I think. Was what some stuff because I'm sure we're gonna get something from Cody Rhodes. I'm hoping we're gonna get a couple of the ladies making their return, maybe a couple guys making their return as well. Elias, anything like that, or who knows. Roman should be on Raw now since he's both the Universal and the WWE champion. So yeah, I think tomorrow night's Raw after Mania is gonna be. I think that's gonna be fire too. And we might be back to those pre-pandemic crowds where they're the smarties of the smart marks, and they're gonna cheer who they want to cheer. They're gonna boo who they want to do. And Veer is gonna make his, Veer is gonna come all over Raw, tomorrow night. So yeah, it should be a fun night, and but we'll see. We'll see if I can, what I can do, whether the right reaction or not. So if you want to be here for it, make sure you click that notification bell so that when I go live, you will be able to get a notification about it if I do go live. So you're gonna make sure you do that, and also like the video and share the video. subscribe to my channel. Make sure you do that as well. For the next week reviews, Wrestlemania Backlash, I will see you then. For every reaction, make sure you check out my weekly show every Friday. That's the shoot this week when we're talking about Cody Rhodes and what his future looks like in WWE. And maybe some other stories that happen to break or come through the pipeline that I think are important. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.